Shalom. I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. I want to say double honors to our apostles, who are elders, who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. This is Ra'ab Amath with the Nebraska camp. This is Jim as NE Push to the Mark, YNE Fort Nebraska. Yeah, man, and I want to start off and get the scripture. We're going to the book of Micah, okay? Because as you see in that lesson is dealing with these fires. All right, just me speaking as a man. Esau always has the ideas, and there's a lot of coincidences. You know, we all know that there is no coincidence. Okay, so we go into Micah chapter 1. We're gonna start at Micah 1 and 2. But 1 and 2, it says, I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. Okay, let's get that out the gate, that the Lord hates. This is a scripture we haven't brought out in a while, man. You know, it's a healthy reminder that Esau, who is the so-called white man, is the epitome of an op on the Lord's list, man. All right, he doesn't get any redemption. All right, there's no comeback for him. So all that, we all are one. You know, you guys are making league with an enemy, man. But let's get back to the subject at hand. It says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Okay. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. All right, and the Lord's going to ultimately throw down with them nuclear missiles. Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to Zechariah 14 and 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Because that's another thing. Everybody like to play this, oh, God loves everybody, guys. You know, but the reality is the world, all these nations are really working together to oppress the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Yeah, that's right. All right. Everybody's picking on us. And it is true, because if we were to rise up, we will bring them down. Okay. And they know it. All right. They know it because it's historical fact. Via King David, they're scarred from that, man. From the kings of Israel, man. Specifically King David, you know, and you can read that when you go into the book of Ezra, you know, and they was giving a report when we was rebuilding the temple. When they rebuild, they'll rebel, they'll do this, they'll do that. You know, they'll subdue you guys. All right, these nations know that, man, because then they know prophecy to an extent, because they know that the Lord gonna come and restore us, you know, and when we're restored, we're gonna put them under our submission. And when you're under our submission, you ain't gonna be having all these technologies and skyscrapers and capitalism and all this crazy stuff. Okay. So they do what? They oppress us through mind control, man. It ain't like nobody's taking a watch and putting in front of you or a T and tapping the corner of the T like on Get Out. All right, they're doing it through propaganda. They're doing it through the food. Okay, they're doing it through education. All right, they're doing it through slander, through murder. They're doing it through any and every avenue. Okay, and these other nations are willing to deal with it. And the thing is that a lot of these avenues, they'll let their own people get caught up into it. They don't care. All right. But the main focus is us, man. All right? Every nation got their own stuff but us. All right? It's not really, I don't think there's an Israelite country that has a standing army. Because Cuba, South America, those are Israelites, majority, okay? Because we can argue that Japanese went down there, Africans went down there, and all that's blah, blah, blah. But look, the majority of them are Israelites, okay? But going back into it, it says, their flesh, Salakia, it says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people. Remember, the Lord's going to throw down that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, okay? And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth, all right? The Lord's going to destroy the beast and his image, all right? The things he envisioned, the things he speak, his ideas, all right? Not saying the image is his eyes and his mouth, but that is what is used through his education, his science, okay, his culture, all right, the way of life, the pride of life is associated with the image of the beast, man, all right? So getting back to the subject at hand, with these wildfires that's going on in California, okay, and with these wildfires, I don't know, Satan messes with my internet, man. If I look something up, if I don't mess with it long enough, they'll delete your tabs, man. Okay? That's crazy. That is crazy. That is annoying. That is annoying. But you'll let someone put all kind of tabs on this motherfucker, but you won't. Let me see here. Now I'll get to it, man. We're gonna go into and that's thinking about it now. I was gonna go over this Mel Gibson thing. So Lord's will, I'll put that in post production, and this is what the video is premised off of. Mel Gibson's response. All right. And he was saying that it was, it was coincidence, quote unquote. He was being sarcastic, all right? Because it's not a coincidence that these fires are happening and people are setting fires, and that they turned off the fire hydrants, okay? That they haven't built, ocean filtration systems, because we have to understand there's a lot of elements. And one major element is Babylon's infrastructure is outdated. Okay, let's put that in the internet. I know California love to hear that sound right now. It says, let me see here. All right, so I'm gonna go into this one real quick. Salaka, this is just a quick look, okay? So I just, kind of sift through as fast as I can through articles. But let's get to the article. This is Council on Foreign Relations, okay? Backgrounder. The state of U.S. Fair use, again, this is misinformation, man. Like, we don't have a right to give our perspective, but they'll sit here and lie. This is crazy. But it says the Joe Biden, Joe Biden, man, hold up. Joe Biden administration is implementing the largest federal investment in infrastructure in decades. Here's why infrastructure matters for the U.S. economic competitiveness. Who are they competing with? Other countries, man. All right, they're not competing with themselves. All right, and this is written in 2023 of September 20th. All right, so this is a decent stretch ago, so that there's a lot of construction going on. They're trying to bounce back. They shall build, but the Lord gonna throw down. They're trying to keep up with Japan, Saudi Arabia, Amsterdam, all these countries that are just doing their thing right now and having these illustrious buildings. Because America used to be the stuff, man, during the Industrial Revolution with these skyscrapers and the American steel. For now, they decades behind, man. All right, it says the 25 trillion U.S. economy relies on vast networks of infrastructure to keep it afloat. But the systems currently in place, including roads, railways, electrical grids, and internet providers, were built decades ago and are struggling to keep pace. Economists say that delays and rising maintenance costs are holding economic performance back. Okay? And civil engineers warn that infrastructure, deficient bridges, and antique water infrastructure pose safety risk. Flint, Michigan water. All right. I had someone saying, asking, why they don't just grab the ocean water? It's like they didn't build the infrastructure for it. They didn't have the technology, or they didn't, they don't have, a distillation filtration system for the ocean. And in order to get that, you will have to tear down every pipeline or every filtration system, because you don't know how the pipes will react to salt water and all that. There's a lot that go with it. All right, these people built something in a rush, half-tailed, and it's worked at maximum efficiency. All right, and they're too cheap. That's another thing. All right. They're too damn cheap. Okay, so which is not okay. But the reality is that I work at jobs. We've been at jobs, man. You be like, they would not get rid of something that's old, bro, because they can take that money and pocket it. It's too much greed. There's too much wickedness in this place for it to be a better place. All right. They're not. They rather spend money on billions of dollars on war than health. Okay, and I ain't talking about medicine. I'm talking about just better food, better pipeline system. The pipeline system is so trash that you got to buy bottles of water. I remember when I was young, everybody used to make fun of China, not China, but Mexico's water. Don't you drink that water in Mexico? You can't drink the water in Babylon now. Okay, water do you something dirty, man. Have you with superpowers out here? They don't mention what they doing to the ocean water, man. They out here nuking the ocean water, man, testing nukes. Earthquakes, dumping stuff all in the ocean, man. It's crazy, man. They have to go, man. They're destroying the earth, man. And people don't understand that because of flat screen TVs and smart cars. You're blinded and you wooed. Okay? It says economists say that delays and rising maintenance costs are holding economic performance back, and civil engineers warn that structurally deficient bridges and antique water infrastructure pose safety risks. Meanwhile, the United States lags behind other advanced economies in infrastructure quality and spending. See, they lag behind. They're in competition with these other countries. In the wake of the 2020 pandemic, had to say it like that because they're gonna cut it. Shocked the U.S. economy. President Joe Biden rolled out a sweeping plan to overhaul the nation's infrastructure in November 2021. Congress approved in a bipartisan infrastructure law, marking the largest federal infrastructure investment in decades. Proponents of the legislation argue that increased public spending is necessary to meet the country's growing needs. Okay. I just wanted to see. They was talking about how, I'm trying to jump to a good part. It says the U.S. population has almost doubled since the 1960s. All right, because at a point in time it was like 50 years behind. I would assume 1960s, 1950s, around that point, when most of the country's major infrastructure systems were designed. Many are reaching the end of their lifespan and are dangerously overreach, experts say. In its 2021 report card, the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE, and industry group gave the nation's infrastructure a C-, up from a D+ in 2017. Oh, the highest grade in 20 years. Still, the group estimated that there is an infrastructure investment gap of nearly 2.6 trillion this decade that, if unaddressed, could cost the United States 10 trillion in lost gross domestic product, GDP, by 2039. Okay, so transportation will require the largest chunk of funds needed. 1 in 3 bridges needs to be repaired or replaced, according to the American Railroad and Transportation Builders Association, and 7% are structurally deficient. However, the number of bridges in need of repair has steadily decreased over the past decade. While the United States airports carry the most passengers in the world, U.S. aviation infrastructure is also overburdened, with some 20% of all arrivals and departures delayed in 2022, according to the Department of Transportation's Bureau of Transportation Statistics. Delays have worsened post-pandemic and amid pilot and air traffic control shortage. The country's rail systems are a mixed bag. The U.S. commercial rail, a large portion of which is owned by a private freight industry, is among the most developed in the world, according for about 28% of the nation's freight movement by ton miles. At the same time, the focus on freight rails has relegated passenger rail to lower priority. Amtrak, the United States' main provider of intercity passenger rail, has estimated repair backlog of about more than $45 billion, according to the ASCE. Okay, water and electricity. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates that drinking water and wastewater systems will require at least $744 billion in additional investments over the next decade. Now here it is, they're sending billions of dollars over to Ukraine, billions of dollars over the Middle East, and you got all this money you need to be spending on your own country. Again, they invest more in war than they invest in their own people, but they won't tell you that they deal with you, man. Hey, y'all gonna love it when we run in the world, man. All right, y'all ain't gonna have these problems, man. Okay? It says ports and waterways, which are critical links in the country's freight transport network, face mounting delays. The operators of the U.S. electrical grid are struggling to make the necessary investments, and increased power outages are costing the economy billions of dollars. All right, experts warn of the broadband gap, in which rural and low-income communities suffer from lack of infrastructure to deliver reliable, fast internet. So blah blah blah, such for so, these people are so cheap and so demon like. They spend money on war, and rather and they'll take all your tax money, man, and then take it to war, pocket it. And it reminds me of Esau during the time of the Virginia Company and all that, when they was doing tobacco. Like, they had the Europe had to tell them, bro, grow you some food. Stop trying to use the whole field for tobacco. Grow some food with it, because they was using 100% of the field for tobacco and relying on GAD to give them food, all to make profit. You know how greedy you gotta be to come with that business decision? And then you're so demonic that you start war, you wage war with them behind whatever you can find. Break ties with them, and when you break ties with them, now you try to extort them through taking, Pocahontas, put her on a ship and converting her to Christianity. This is historical accounts, man. This is the nature of the devil, man. Okay? So let's get into this other statement. I'm going to some other overviews and statements. So when you go into Mel Gibson and a reporter, okay, not me, reporter mentioned how high density housing, okay, and I said, man, let me look this up, because it pretty much, they changed the name, they bounced their names around. It's the 15-minute cities, all right, because once the prophets get a hold of it, they keep trying to dodge us, but you can't dodge us. Lies leave trails, all right, especially via the internet and the news, and once you put it on video and and through the airwaves, through the unicorn, we gonna pick up on it, man. We're watchmen sitting up on the tower watching your ass, pal. High density housing is a type of development that has a higher population density than average, meaning more people live in a smaller area. It includes high-rise apartments, luxury lofts, repurposed commercial buildings, blocks or flats, tower blocks. High-density housing can be developed from empty or abandoned buildings, such as old warehouses or commercial buildings. All right, it can help activity centers become more economically and socially active. However, careful planning and design are more needed to ensure that the neighborhood's character, amenity, and access to public transportation are not impacted. So they're trying to get everybody hunkered into one area, Hawaii. Okay, that was a speculation. California is also speculated to have these high density housing, and on top of that, they're speculated to have the same route where the fires are is the same route where they're trying to get the wording right. They're trying to have these high speed railways. Okay, they're trying to have these high speed railways. Damn, I had the map, man. Nothing but Satan. Oh no, I got it. I saved it. That's what happened. Got it out of there. All right. So the same map that they want to put these high-speed railways that pretty much go from north to south, Bakersfield, Palmdale, Burbank, Los Angeles, Anaheim. All right. Then there's a phase 2 route, San Bernardino, Riverside, San Diego. Okay, and then there's a Bright Line West route to Las Vegas, and it is from Palmdale to Victorville, and then Victorville, goes from, between Los Angeles, San Bernardino, all the way to the east. Okay, Victorville, of course, is above San Bernardino. All right, so these people have their plans to is what it seems like, is that they have plans to rebuild, and pretty much the only way you rebuild is that you have to break these buildings down, because some of these buildings they use. I stay in I can't say a 15-minute city. I stayed in the downtown area, which is pretty much a 15-minute city. It ain't nothing but lofts and apartments down here now. And the lofts and apartments are old business buildings. Then we just read that. But that is just a makeshift. They rebuild the park Everything circles around the park. Everybody comes to the park. All the food you need, all the, they're going to, there's another place over here that has a huge loft. And then there's, apartments that circle the huge loft for the poor people. But then you have a movie theater, ice cream spot, food, grocery store. You have everything you need. You don't even need a car. You could just hop out on foot. And this is all alluding to the so-called carbon footprint that people leave. Okay? And they're trying to relegate that and blame it on the carbon footprint and on carbon emissions. But yet you're chopping down trees. Okay? Talking about trees don't affect the carbon emissions, man. All right? You better thank the Most High for Brazil, man. That we'll be over with if it wasn't for Brazil and the Amazon, man. All right. It says high density. And I looked up high density housing and carbon footprints. Okay. It says high density housing generally leads to lower carbon footprint compared to low density housing, as more people living closer together often results in reduced transportation, emissions, lower energy usage per capita, and less land development needed overall, making it more environmentally friendly, and making it a more environmentally friendly option. Okay, reduce transportation emissions. When people live together or live closer together, they are more likely to walk, bike, or use public transportation, significantly lowering the transportation-related carbon emissions compared to living in sprawling suburban areas requiring more car usage. Lower energy consumption per unit. High-density buildings can often be designed with better energy efficiency due to shared walls and reduced exterior surface area, leading to less energy need for heating and cooling. Less land development. Building upwards in denser areas require less land than sprawling suburban development, pressuring natural habitats and reducing the carbon footprint associated in land conversion. All right, and man, I get irritated to this day. I keep seeing apartments building, apartments. They keep them. I'm like, God damn, bro. They like, you can't have a family. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna be. Then people are making fun of the communism in China, and y'all wrong. And these people are gonna lead. We ain't doing nothing but head in the same direction, man. Okay, the same direction. You're only gonna be able to have a certain amount of kids in an apartment, and if you can't afford a huge apartment, you ain't gonna be able to have the kids. They just leave you a so-called quote unquote option. All right, building design matters. Mixed use development, such on and so forth, man. So these fires ain't nothing but a demolition project, man. Okay, that's what I think. Nothing but a demolition project. But again, they shall build, but the Lord shall throw down. He's going to give them the ultimate demolition project to the point they're not going to be, and we're going to rebuild, not in this land, but in our original land in the Middle East in Jerusalem, man. All right. And David's going to sit back up on the throne as the Lord has gave him that promise. All right. And we're going to rule the world. All right. So hopefully this was edifying. With that being said, we're going to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, and Kakadash. Double honor to our apostles who are elders who grew well. Blessings and salutations to you, brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Shalom.